World of Warships is a game with many tech trees to grind through. Often give a headache to new players, leading to a question, what ships should I grind first? Here I am, gonna give you a few examples of those ships, their advantages and disadvantages, and also recommended builds and captain perks. And small disclaimer at the start, those ships are not necessarily meta ships. Those are the ones that are easy to pick up for new player to start their adventure with the game. Key criteria: if the whole tech tree is actually enjoyable to grind through, meaning all the ships prior to tier 10 also being fairly decent, and most important one, very little to no changes in the playstyle and the builds. So without further ado, let's go on to the list. First recommendation will go to Haaland. Haaland is a torpedo boat, meaning its gameplay is focused mostly around being dark and stealthy, creating walls of torpedoes to hit enemy ships with. With such gameplay involving a lot of stealth, you should not really use main battery unless necessary. Securing objectives, providing spotting to your whole team, and denying space to enemy team using torpedoes is the key of playing this branch of destroyers. Advantages is gonna be it's very strong, easy to hit, fast reloading, and quick torpedoes. Amazing anti-aircraft fire on top of great sustain thanks to its ability to heal ships' guns being better than many other torpedo boats. Ship disadvantages is gonna be its lack of smokescreen generator and low top speed compared to other destroyers. Next destroyer that I recommend is the Daring. This is a hybrid boat, meaning it has both good torpedoes and decent guns, being kind of jack of all trades. Ship's pros, it has decent everything. Maneuverability is also pretty high thanks to British increased acceleration, very good set of consumables, heal, meaning to increase sustain as well. Concealment is a little bit worse than for many torpedo boats, but is much better than more gun-focused destroyers. This ship has only one major disadvantage. Being jack of all trades means you do not exceed at anything. Next recommendation is going to be for the gunboat line, and it's going to be obviously Kleber. Gunboats are those destroyers that are using main battery as main source of damage. The gameplay usually involves you sitting pretty far away from enemy ships and straight up setting them on more and more fires until they finally sink. You can also alter this gameplay a little bit by hunting down enemy destroyers that you can kill with ease. Ship's advantages are gonna be its immense firepower, great maneuverability, amazing speed of over 50 knots, and great sustain thanks to French upgrade saturation. Ship's disadvantages is gonna be its huge concealment, very poor anti-aircraft fire, and torpedoes being useless most of the time. Next recommendation is gonna be for light cruisers, and it's gonna be the Worcester line. This is a ship that loves having islands near it, from behind which you can gun down enemy ships. Playstyle is usually very simple. Find yourself a comfortable island to sit behind, spam your guns, and make sure to support your team using your consumables like FAA, Hydro, and Surveillance Radar. Ship's advantages are gonna be its huge firepower with main battery, great anti-aircraft fire, and huge set of consumables. Ship's disadvantages is gonna be the lack of torpedo armament and fairly poor armor, making you very weak on approach by bigger ships. Next, for more heavier cruisers, I'm gonna recommend the Zao line. Zao is an example of a kiting cruiser, meaning core gameplay is gonna be focused around getting as close as possible to enemy ships without being detected, turning, showing your aft towards the enemy, and kiting away, shooting them with your main battery, dodging incoming fire. When you push out too far, you simply stop firing, wait till you go dark, go and repeat the process. Ship's strength lies within its very strong HE armament with very accurate guns, great concealment, well-rounded armor leading to many shells bouncing off or overpanning you, torpedo armament being present on the cruiser, consumables such as hydroacoustic search, submarine surveillance being the new one, and spotter plane. Also ship's maneuverability, makes it very easy to dodge enemy incoming fire. Zao's disadvantages is gonna be its weak AA, very poor angles for torpedo fire, and generally pretty small HP. If you prefer something more durable, I'm gonna recommend you a Goliath tech tree. This ship can as well be played like Zao as a kiting cruiser, but also is pretty okay at just holding a certain point around an island thanks to its torpedo armament and very decent armor. Ship's advantages are gonna be its very strong HE armament, strong side armor, torpedo armament being present on the ship, great maneuverability thanks to British improved acceleration, and super heal, something that is specific for this branch, meaning you can reprint your HP with a single press of a button. Ship's disadvantages is gonna be poor anti-aircraft fire and lack of area control consumables like surveillance radar. Next will be the battleships. Next I will give you a few recommendations about battleships. First will be all-time classic Yamato. This is an example of a sniping bat, meaning your gameplay is going to be focused mostly around sitting pretty far back, meaning your playthrough is going to be mostly focused at not brawling, but sitting further away from opponents, but do not retreat to the other side of the map. That's not necessary. The recommended distance between you and opponents is around 14 kilometers. This means the recommended distance between you and your opponents is around 14 kilometers. Ship is very durable at that range, on top of being very accurate. Ship's advantages are gonna be its main battery overmatch. Ship's advantages is gonna be its main battery overmatch, very strong AP, high durability on the range, main battery having enough range to actually hit anyone on the map, on top of having very good accuracy for this caliber of a battleship. Ship's disadvantages are gonna be its very weak AA, bad maneuverability, and bad concealment. If you prefer to be more in the heat of a battle, Kremlin, your go. This is an example of a pushing battleship, the one that is supposed to break through enemy lines or alternatively defend from enemy push close by sustaining huge amounts of damage. Ship's advantages are gonna be guns with decent overmatch, not as good as Yamato's, guns being also very effective at close range, and obviously the high Stalinium durability, meaning you being very difficult to get rid of by enemy team. Ship's disadvantages gonna be very short range, bad accuracy, distance, and also anti-aircraft mounts that break very fast. Ship's AA is strong at first, but it disappears very quickly. Alternative to pushing battleship is a secondary pushing battleship, meaning Preußen line. This battleship gameplay is unique. This is a unique battleship gameplay for the tech trees, meaning we have only two at the moment that favor the playstyle. Your game will revolve around getting close enough to the enemy so that your secondaries open up. Ship advantages is gonna be very strong secondary armament and high durability. Ship disadvantages though is gonna be very weak AA, maneuverability being very poor, and bad accuracy. And now a few words to all of those that prefer more toxic kind of playstyle, meaning aircraft carriers and submarines. Civs and subs are not classes I recommend to anyone who starts the game and pick up something from the surface classes before they try those, as those two are more difficult to play well, on top of not earning as much. First recommendation for the carrier is gonna be Audacious Tech Tree. Ship's advantages are gonna be the carrier having very decent armor, planes that have very huge HP pools, and easy to hit drop patterns. Ship disadvantages is gonna be it's very weak at close range, very low amount of plane star space, costly maintenance, and reduced earnings. If you feel more toxic, you can also pick a submarine tech tree. We have at the moment 3 submarine tech trees. I would definitely recommend U-2501 as a starter, as it has better concealment, very good speed, fast torpedoes with high damage, the time underwater being one of the highest in the game, and the fact that you reload all the torp tubes at once. Ship disadvantages is gonna be its very low HP pool and very high cost to maintain. And the most important part, the community will despise you unless you play submarines to bound a little bit with the dolphins near you at the start of the game. Then it's fine.